doing tonight. First of all, I'm sorry I'm running a little bit behind. And I am feeling much better today. I'm still sore a little bit. Haven't got done with the soreness, but still having my tea. Still a little sore. I literally went to bed at uh, 10 o'clock last night and slept pretty. I didn't think I was going to sleep all night, but I actually did. I went to bed at 10, like right after I got off the live, and I actually wasn't too long after that. I went to bed. And then I slept literally till about 8 o'clock this morning. I was that tired. So I really appreciate everybody understand that my tank was depleted. It was depleted. There was nothing left in there, and I was really exhausted. So I needed to just um, hold on a minute. So I needed to just take it easy. I was just done. And today I have spent the day really honestly watching movies, um, and crocheting, getting that order ready to go to the Amish country on Friday. I'm not going to be on too long because I have to go back in my room and finish like 30 soap caddies that I promised I'd never get that ahead, but I've just been in a soap caddy crocheting mood and mode, I guess you should say. And so that was kind of my I'll go ahead and get that done and get to the point where I can just um hold on a second. Get to the point where I can go ahead and get them done so that we can get them ready because they've got to sit for about 24 hours. So I've got about 30, and I promised myself I wasn't going to do that again, but I did it because I just was like, get them done. So I really don't have too much yarn left. What I'm going to do is I've got 30, so I can add it to the order and go through and make sure I've got enough variety for them. And then that'll be to the start for the next order. And then I also can make sure that I thanks, straight. I'm not there yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not totally there yet. Um, I've got to be able to make sure that I can also, uh, put it, be in the position of, giving them enough time to dry and everything. But I swore I wasn't going to do that. But I said to myself the last time I kind of did this, I said, Mary, you got to do 4 or 5, 2 or 3, and then finish them and then move on. And I didn't do that this time. I kind of allowed myself to just keep making without, but I don't really have too much yarn left. That's where I was going with it. I don't have too much yarn left, but what I'm going to do is just keep working on what I have left. And then when I get the new stash, because I know about average how many I get out of one thing on the soap caddy route. But then that way, whatever yarn I get, if I don't mix that new batch of yarn with this, then I'll get an idea of how much I'm going to get out of this next batch because it's going to be significant because I was pretty much told by them, get your crocheting fingers ready to go. So I figure if I do this, finish up the yarn, keep that separate from what I get, and then when I start that, get the new batch of yarn, which we're going to Sam's Club tomorrow. I'll start a little ticker. When I get one done out of the new batch, I'll put it on my phone. Probably the best thing to do is just put it on my phone or a piece of paper or something that I can start like a little ticker, and then I can keep an idea of how much I will be using. I'm going to finish up this yarn, and I don't want to mix the two. So we're working on this. Hopefully I can get it done. Take down to the Amish country. And I'm also trying to get ahead enough because I really want to make sure that I am ahead with the game because if they call and say, we'd like to fix some performance, you don't want to be starting from ground zero. So it's another thing. I just really haven't been up to much. I really haven't. That whole weekend was just, yeah, it's different if you're kind of prepared for it, but we weren't kind of prepared for it. And it was some long days, which I absolutely would do it in a heartbeat all over again. But, and then Mocha to the vet. That's also stressful, and she did fine, but still it's stressful. So it all worked itself out, and we'll probably have to do it again, and it'll be fine. But this is all I need. I don't think I need anything else. I don't think. All right, so we're working on this. I'm going to take this to Hobby Lobby. Josh's saw is not going to come in, I think, till the end of the month. And so I want to see if they have, because it's going into that store down there, I want it to be a little bit more of a professional frame. So I'm going to see what I can get there versus using the paint sticks to see, just to see. So I'll bring it along and see if I see anything that would work tomorrow when I go to Hobby Lobby to pick up the yarn for the soap caddies. Um, Kale, apple, you know my kale, pineapple, pear, and carrot are in the thing today. Josh has pear, pineapple, and carrot in his. Um, Another thing, I got these at Kohl's. I love them. They're so comfy. So I'm going to try to find some more of these. These are just loungewear. And I thought I may get a couple pair for a day when when people with fibromyalgia, so people understand, when they are hurting, they are sore, sometimes the very touch of the clothing can be very sensitive and it can actually hurt, believe it or not. It's why you don't see me wearing a lot of makeup when I come live and doing hairspray and fixing my hair a lot. Thank God I got one of those hairstyles that just goes pretty much right. I've got the finest hair in the world because sometimes putting makeup on can hurt. Just touching your face and doing all that kind of stuff, it just can be sensitive and it can just start up a flare up. So sometimes I really have to wear very soft material, soft clothing, loose clothing. And these kind of loungewear outfits from Kohl's are very comfortable. I forgot, I think it's from Crate and Barrel. I think that's who does it. So I'm going to try to go every once in a while to Kohl's and when I get my Kohl's cash and find maybe one or two that I can add to my collection. So when I come on and I'm having kind of a day where I'm still a little sore and I have to be very careful what I wear and the clothing, but I want to look nice. I don't want to look fancy, but I just want to look like I look halfway decent to y'all, right? I can put on something like this and it's comfy, it looks comfy, and I need to find a couple more pieces like that so that I can just put them on and be comfortable because that's part of this Kinusaiga too. I think that being comfortable and being relaxed and all that kind of stuff is important. So um, I gotta find some more of these to just lounge around in and just be comfy. So we were at this where we had decided that we were going to get rid of. I thought about postponing this tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I got to get my hands on seam ripper, and I needed to take a break from the crochet. Um, so we had kind of gotten rid. We decided the lines didn't really need to be there, just because, so forth. But you could put them there if you wanted them. I will offer both patterns when I do it, and it'll still be $2 because it's a very simple pattern. You could do that if you wanted to, but we chose not to. And so we're putting another gray section here. Then we're going to go ahead and put, hold on a second. Let's just check. That's really loud. Gray section here. And then we're going to put a green section here. We're going to put another, wait, no, hold it. I had to think about it for a minute. No, excuse me. Sorry. Gray sections here. So white sections here. Gray sections here. green sections. No, that won't work. Wait, hold it. Gray sections go on here. White sections here. Gray sections here. See, gray, white, and then gray, green, gray. That's the way we're going to do it. So that these two were white. Because I didn't like the white being totally next to here. And white, gray, green would not have been enough. So we're just going to do these two being the white. So this is gray. This is white. Then we're going to do gray, green, gray. That's the way we're going to do it. What's she doing, Mochas? I think. Where is my gray? You know, another thing we can do, and I don't know how well it would look. I don't know if I'll like it. No, it's too dark. Don't like it. So hopefully everybody is doing well. I am better. I'm just still tired. I could have taken a nap. I think I kind of forced myself not to take a nap today, but I just thought I'm just resting. I'm not pushing it. I can't push it. There was a place on Facebook that I still want to go to, but I didn't really want to spend the gas money to go there. It's about 45 minutes away from here. And I really didn't have the energy to do anything else. I didn't want to get dressed. I didn't want to be I wanted to be in comfy clothes today. I really didn't want to be much of anything, quite frankly. Quite frankly, it was a comfy day. Now I'm going to use a little bit darker just so that these tones just look a little bit better. So I'm going to use this side so it doesn't look as stark as this. And then when we get to this, it'll be a little variation of the color without it being, tremendously, because you can see that's just a little bit. So we're going to go more towards this. So we're going to kind of get a little bit different. And when we do this, we'll kind of hit this other side. So I want to make sure when I do this, I'm kind of getting on one side, this kind of little spot there. So it's just a little bit more darker than that. You want that. So anyway. So, and I'm still waiting for them to approve. They're still saying it can take up to a month. Like, why? Shouldn't take that long. I don't remember taking that long before. So we'll just keep watching for it to turn over. But so right now, unfortunately, I can't tell you where we are on watch hours because when you go to the thing, it just says review process. So I can only save from the other side, not this side. I can't see it. I can see it from probably YouTube Studio, but I can't see it from the side. Hi, Fire and Art. Or Fire Art, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm still not totally. Oh, good night. But would I do it again? Yes, I would. I'm just still. Last night I was just like, I was trying to come on, and I just was like, I was literally at 7 o'clock sitting in my bed crocheting like this. And I was like, no, it's not happening. I do not have any. My tank was dry. So, oh, but it was worth it. I was there, and I told my daughter, you call me again when your tank's low. I know what that's like. Believe me, been there, done that. And when my tank was low, my parents were there to help me, and I can't thank them enough. You know, I think that we forget as parents, especially young parents that are just new parents, that they try to do everything by themselves, and I can do this, and I'm strong, and all this kind of stuff. And you realize, yes, you are to a degree, but you're better parents when you refill your tank. If you try to do it all and be, super parent, it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna work. You will be better off. You'll be a better parent when you have kind of refilled your little. When you've refilled yourself, you will be a better parent. Trying to I want to kind of add that in there a little bit. So anyway, I was glad I could help achieve that for. I just think we think, oh, well, we can do it. We're strong and all that kind of stuff, and we got this, and you know, so anyway, but I was thankful, but we've just been tired. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. And then tomorrow is a big day because Sam's Club always wears me out. Always, it really takes a lot out of me to do it. And sometimes, and it's more than I think I want, but there's a lot of times I have to do a cart because if I push it, then I'm really, really sore. Like I'm already sore, but then a lot of times I'll use a cart because I just know if I try to push it, I'm gonna be really not happy. My body won't be. So we pay for like Josh paid for it a couple years ago. We got the Sam's Club, and for the membership to be like the early membership so we can go in early. So we try to get up in the morning. Doesn't always happen 'cause I don't like mornings. And we go into Sam's Club before all the, you know, try to before anything. Doesn't usually happen first thing in the morning. We try, but he paid for that years ago, started paying for the membership years ago. And um, because we've kind of, what we do is we buy our groceries every month there. We have really never paid for a membership. Maybe we pay like $10 a month, maybe. But then, like now, they used to have Mocha's dog food at the store. Well, now they've stopped carrying her dog food. So we have to have it shipped here. So this way, if we need that dog food shipped, it doesn't cost anything to have it shipped. So it's better off if we pay for we never really pay for memberships anymore because we do the whatever the early check-in membership and all that kind of stuff. Never have to pay for it again. So he did that first, and then between we buy our stuff in bulk at the first of the month, and then we don't have to. So we get early thing. So I'd probably tell her that's a good deal. because it's better off that you pay, you do your membership, you do it, you pay the first little bit, and then you get in for the business, and then Sam's cash back every month. So it makes it, and then the Sam's cash from all your purchases really pay for your membership every month or every year. So we've never paid for a membership for years. Like I said, the most we've ever paid is like $10 because and then we get free delivery. So if it's over a certain amount, so sometimes we'll order we always get the toilet paper there. And so we'll order the toilet paper and just have it shipped here. And then Mocha's dog food, which they stopped carrying. They used to have it there, but now they've stopped carrying it. So it's only good. You only can get it through order. Our dog food's like $50. So we can have that shipped here. So it does make a difference. So I cut that way to see. Way to a little short. I can fix it. Just have to. I need to also let it be, but I'm not happy I did that. I think it'll be fine because it's right near the silver. Just very careful with this piece because if it goes into a store, I want it to be a little bit more. But it'll be fine. So anyway, I'd highly recommend that because we get the Sam's cash every month. And then it goes towards the membership, and then we don't have to pay for. Probably have to pay for it. So that's my PSA about it. But we do pretty good. Just get all our stuff in bulk. And one thing that we like doing, depending on the day, because usually we're tired when we get back, is we'll buy pizza from there. And then, like tomorrow, we make it pizza. We bring it home, we have pizza, and then we freeze it. You can get a whole thing of pizza for like $8. $9. It's a really good deal. It's halfway decent pizza. I gotta bring this up for a minute, guys. I may have to redo that one piece because I don't want to get it. I gotta have it look right because you're gonna see it when you have it this way. Can how. So that looks good. That I'm happy with. I just needed to angle it differently so I could see it. See how it was gonna look when it was. Oh. The pieces are good, and then we bring them home and we freeze them. sometimes he'll pick up a salad. Oh, fuzzies up my nose. Excuse me. Okay, so this one we're going to do green. We said we're going to do green for this. No, white. Excuse me. Wait. I am feeling much more rested. I think I needed to rest a little bit to get myself in order. Still just a little tender. Just my body's still a little sore. And my mat should be here for my cushion. Josh was like, I could have made you one. I said, I know, but I don't like your foam. This is like a gel foam. It fits an office chair. So should be here on Friday. And hopefully in the next couple days, they say, I just hope YouTube doesn't come back and say you can't be monetized because of this. I'm just hoping they don't. I don't see why they would tell me we couldn't be. So we'll see what it comes back to say. I'm just start crushing up ice, or it just sits there and want to melt. I was even too tired for juice yesterday. It's just like, there's nothing left in my body to give anybody yesterday. Okay, so we got to make sure we're putting it on the right side. Anyway. So like I said, I want to get further along in this because if I can bring it down Amish Country or Friday, I will. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. But I've got to take it with me tomorrow when I go to Hobby Lobby, and we'll go from there. But see if I can see what frame I could finagle this one real quick because I just don't feel like dealing with it. I can deal with the paint sticks, but I don't necessarily want to. So we'll see. I may not find anything. So. Like I said, I'm not going to be on terribly long, but I did want to get a little bit further with this piece because of Friday, but I've got to go work on the soap caddies before. Because those have to sit for like 24 hours. So tomorrow, well, I'm just kind of letting them. I like to get the glue because I use a little bit of glue in my soap caddies just to make sure that stuff is going to stay where I put it. I've got to put the. Hi Ace, welcome on in. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you need people to connect with your channel. We're doing Kinusaiga. So, but I've got to finish up, and I promised myself the last time I did soap caddies I wouldn't let myself get that far behind before I actually ended them, but I didn't listen to myself this time around. I just was like, another one done. So I've got to go in a little bit and finish them up, and then so that they dry, so that I can put them in the washer. Then we'll get up Friday and we'll pack. I've got the majority of them packed up, but I have to put them out on the bed, the ones I have, and make sure that the ones I have, I want those ones going down there. So I'm going to do that. But keep watching. Like I said, I can see the, it'd be nice to happen while we're live, wouldn't it? To get the approval. Where I was told, and I'm not going to say this for everybody, but I was told or overheard that when you get, when I guess maybe because we walked away from the partner program, I don't know. Or at least that's what they told us that we did. That when you've had the monetization the first time, you can't go with the 3,000. But we were approved for it. It'd be nice if it just happened while we were live. It'd be really special. Hint, hint, YouTube. I'm like, I don't remember it telling me it was going to take a month the last time around, but anyway, comes on. I'll check it in a minute and see. I've been just checking it and still says it needs waiting on approval. Waiting on approval. Wait, I'm like, done approval enough. Anyway, so we're waiting on approval of that. Where's my seam ripper? My handy dandy seam ripper. So anyway, I'm trying to make this because it doesn't feel like I'm being probably a little bit more, being a little bit more fussy with this one than I normally am. Of course, you all should know that I am fussy when it comes to any art that I do. Kind of putting that out because I've got to get this to lie down like I want it to. There we go. Like I tell people, get to your if you see a fray or you've cut the thing too small, like I did with this, get to it before you think it's going to be a problem. Because if you go back and say, I'll hit that afterwards, you're going to forget about it and you're going to realize, oh, it's fraying. So I want to hit that before, I think. And then you can always lift it up too, because you can see things differently when you move things around. So, and I'm giving the thing a little bit of a facelift just to kind of make it so that you're not seeing my little issue having. Remember, guys, we're not trying to do perfect. We're just trying to do nice. But I know I have a hard time with that. Believe me, I have a hard time. I want everything to look perfect. I have to remind myself we're not doing perfect. We're doing nice. We're doing pretty and cute and beautiful. It's not gonna look perfect. It's gonna look, because when you start putting perfect, then you get rid of the handmade factor. So, and I do, when I kind of do my doubles, I do take a little bit of glue just to make sure that we're gonna stay where I put it. So that's one thing that I want to make sure happens. They say that thing is temporary, but that glue, I haven't had a problem with any of them I've used so far for the basting. So that looks really good. Looks really clean too. All right, let's see. And curiosity has got the cat. I want to take a break and have my tea. Oops, sorry guys. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, there. It happened while we were online. Can we do the happy dance, y'all? Can we do the happy dance? We can do the happy dance. It helped while I was online. Ah ha 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 ha. The membership should be there. Or do I have to start all over again? I shouldn't have to start all over again. Yay, 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 yay. It finally happened, y'all. Now, we're not monetized fully yet, but we've got membership backs back and super chats. Let me see if I have to do any of that again. No, I don't. Okay, so we got badges back. I'll have to update all of those again. Nope, I still got those. So those are there. We'll get the emojis. I will get those things back. Guys, we got it. We got it. We got it. Oh my goodness. I am just. It took you long enough. Happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. We got it, guys. At least we got the memberships back. The memberships are back. The super chats are back. And they should be back. The memberships, and what else? Super chats, memberships, and I should have the jewels back, I think. Oh my goodness. I am just beyond. Oh, you have no idea, y'all. I don't know if you can see it on your end. I'm gonna see if I can do this. This will be awesome if I can. Um, can't believe it. I was just like, let me just look. I've been looking for 3 days. Or and it just was like yes. So let's see. I'm trying to see. I know I haven't done a lot of shorts lately. It's just because I've been overwhelmed, and I have to do the recaps, but they're not gonna probably come out till Friday right now. Hold on a second. Let's see. So we're sitting at 34. So I still need you guys doing the watch hours. So that we can get back to that part. Because it's even though in the lifetime we have 10.6 in watch time. But you guys can still watch. That would be awesome. Because we're still there. Watch time is still. We'll get there. We will get there. But let me just see. I don't know if I can do it, but let's see. I'm gonna see if I can do this. It'd be nice if I can get memberships again. Uh-huh. Yay, yay, yay. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Membership gifting. Because So I'm able to do 5. So I'm going to start off this with 5 memberships. We're going to do it again. We always did our memberships before on the second and fifth, or second and fourth, um, the second and fourth week of the month. So it's not quite the second, but I'm going to start it off, and then we'll do it always on the fourth. So at least it'll start. People realize that we've got that step back. So we're going to start off with giving memberships because YouTube lets you do it. So who's going to get it? Ivy, Kim, Finding Joy on This Journey, Elevate, and Crazy Life Homestead all got memberships today. So we'll start back with that. Yay. Congratulations. Well, we're not there yet. We're getting back. At least we're halfway point. We're getting back. We're not fully yet, but we're back to that. At least it started something. And I'm about ready. So anyway, we will start with that, and then, like I said, on the fourth, we'll go ahead and we will gift, because YouTube allows channels that are non-branded to give 10 memberships free. They don't make anything off of those memberships um, at all. They don't make anything out of that whatsoever. They just they don't make a thing out of that. So it YouTube allows them to do it, and it's free for the content creator to do, and YouTube allows you to do it, and the content creator doesn't make anything off of those. So we do it, and we usually give those 10 memberships, and it's kind of why I'm holding off branding, because once we brand, we can't do that. However, once we are branded down the road, we are still going to give 10 memberships on us away a month. So anyway, um, so I'm just like, yay! So well deserved. And we worked hard to get back to that. Happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. Got at least one thing knocked. And I'm ready for it. Believe me, I am so ready for it. And I don't know if it's still in here. It's still here. I just thought, let me just see. What's the worst thing, right? You see, it's still here. If you do want to become a member, okay, it's still there. You can access that through that link. We have 2 memberships. We have the 99-cent membership, which is just a way of supporting the channel. And we have the $2.99 membership, which absolutely is just another way of being able to do that. We always put videos out first to that. When we get back to our devotions, you guys will get that first, or any video we put out, Christina singing or anything like that goes out to you all first. Shorts that we can put out, anything goes to you all first. If it's uploaded, that's the perk you get with the $2.99. I'm so excited. I am just. Hi, Flow Farm. I am doing great. If you did not see what just came up, oh, I'm just over the moon. About time, right? I won't hit that button again. I promise you, whatever they told me I hit that I didn't hit. Anyway, we are back to, thank you. We are back to at least the point of super chats, memberships, and probably jewels. So we just got approved again. We're not back to fully monetized yet. We're probably about 600 hours away from that. But we are back into the partner program for at least memberships, super chats, and I think Jules. I may have to reapply for that one, but Jules. So we're back to at least having that. And we're 600 hours away from being fully monetized. Thank you. very much. We're about 600 hours away from being fully monetized, but we've at least gotten back to memberships, super chats, and jewels, I think. Jewels, I'm unsure. Memberships are back on now, and super chats. Of course, I think when we're vertical, if it's still set, super stickers don't work. It's the jewels that work instead. Yes. Yes. I actually have been waiting for it. It just keeps telling me it'll take a month to happen. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I thought, let me just go on and just see if it's there. And I went on. It was like, you've been approved. And I'm like, yay. I thought it would be really awesome if it happened when we were live. And it did. YouTube finally listened for once. I really appreciate it. So I did my little happy dance. Last night I was too sore. I went to bed at 10 o'clock and I slept till 8 o'clock this morning. I was that tired. I was just exhausted. So it's about time. I'm telling you. I'm ready for it. I am ready. So we're back to. Hold on a second. I may have goofed. No. So we're doing. Okay. Well, we got to do gray here. Then we're doing green here. And then we're doing. No, because that'll defeat the purpose then. Hold on a second. No, we have to do green here. Oh, this is going to be green. This is going to be gray. Then green. Then gray again. That's what we did. But we did this a darker gray. So we're going to do a lighter gray to that. That's what we were going to do. We're kind of filtering the gray and the white. And I wanted it for mama. That's what, y'all, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for my mother. I'm just happy for the connection. I'm just glad that it's back. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to be back because I think it was hard because it was just done in such a way that was like, yeah, you ended the part. I didn't touch anything. I promise you all I didn't touch anything. But apparently I touched something. So when we get fully monetized, we're gonna party, y'all. I don't think I have the. Like I said, I really wanted to come live last night, but I was beyond exhausted. I mean, at 7 o'clock, I'm on the bed. I'm like, I need to go live. I need to go live. And I was like this. And I was like, no, Josh came in. He goes, you're lying down already. He said, he looked at one look at me. He said, Mary, you got to go to bed. Got to go to bed and got to go to sleep. And I thought, but if I go to sleep now, I won't sleep all night. And I did. I fell asleep at 10 and I slept until 8 o'clock this morning. I was that tired. And I just took the day and I rested and I crocheted and I just said, I am not, this is what I'm doing today. As my grandfather said, I took it easy. Yep. Well, we helped Christina with some little one over the weekend. So, I would never trade it. I'd be sore all over. I mean, I'm still sore. So I'd be sore all over and I would be exhausted all over again. 100%. I'll never, ever, ever say no. But, so we had to go help. She needed some rest and, we went and helped, but they were long days and I was sore. But again, I was thrilled to do it. And I told her a couple weeks when you need us again, you feel like you need it again, you call and we'll come and assist. And that was just all there is to it. Because you think you can be super parent and you can't. You need people coming beside you to help because you're better parents when you've had your rest. So, and I've been there and done that. My parents did it for me. So it's time for me to do it for my kid. So anyway, that was our weekend. We were just tired. My mother and I were both exhausted. But again, it was worth it. It was worth it. It's just we were just tired from it all. But tomorrow's Sam's Club. So yeah. Well, it's realizing that you're sore and realizing where you're, you know. I realized how tired I was, and I have a husband that has no problem telling me I look tired and exhausted, and tells me you've got to go lay down. And I have an understanding husband, which I'm very grateful for. And he just took one emotion yesterday, and I go, I need to go lie. He said, oh no, you don't. He said, go take a shower and go to bed. So I was able to. I crocheted enough to stay awake because I knew if I went to bed at like 8 o'clock, I wouldn't sleep all night. But I made myself stay up. Oh, I know. Believe me, I absolutely know. I understand it. And see, I had to push through some days on Saturday and Sunday because, you know, again, daughter needed me. So I was able to, my mom and I were able to pitch in and help so she could get what she needed and get recouped a little bit, and then I could fall apart, you know. That's exactly what we did. We came beside her and let her have a little bit of time to recoup and get some much needed rest. And when you go to bed and you're resting, and I remember when Christina was little, and it was like, when my parents could take her and I could go to sleep, I slept differently. My radar was down because I knew she was in good hands and I could go take a nap and I could sleep. Or when she was older and my mother would take her for the weekend and I could go home from work on Sunday or Saturday. And this is my Saturday because, mind you, I was caring and taking care of a special needs child. So it was a lot. And so my parents would take her for the weekend. And so my routine on Sunday or Saturday was I go to work. I would get up at 7 o'clock or 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I go to work. And Saturdays at Autumn Mall, you could just imagine how busy those days are, right? So I go to work. They'd provide lunch for us. So because they didn't want us leaving our desk because it was just, it was busy on Saturday. Everybody came in and had their car fixed. So I would get done, and then at one point there was a Munchies that was built, which is like a yogurt place, like on the way home. It wasn't out of the way; it was on the way home. So Josh and I would stop by because we had one car, so he'd often come and get me. We'd stop by Munchies. We'd get yogurt. I'd have my yogurt at home. I go home. I have a shower. I'd go to bed. I'd have my yogurt, and then I would go to bed. I have my frozen yogurt every Saturday. That was my thing to get through Saturdays because it was a lot. And then I would go to bed. And I spent 3 hours sleeping. And then I'd wake up, I'd have dinner, and then I'd fix, very simple dinner on those nights. And then guess what? I'd go back to bed and I'd sleep for another, but it was a different sleep. I didn't have to worry about my daughter for the most part. I knew she was in good hands. She was being taken care of by my parents. She was in good hands and I could sleep. And I would just come home and literally crash. That was what I'd come do. Literally crash. So it was much needed. I just sleep. And your radar is different. And then when I was a single mother and I was caring for her, and my mom, I'd go to sleep and she was taking care of her, I you know, I would sleep differently because I knew she was in good hands. And when I had to go to work, I was able to go to work and be different because I knew my daughter was being taken care of by my mom. It's just your radar is down for a little bit. You get to really, really sleep because you're not having to be on alert. So anyway, that was what we had to kind of do. And I understand it because I was there. And, I remember them days very, very much. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still get up in the middle of the night, but I mean, I thought I would get up in the middle of the night and not be able to go back to sleep because sometimes I can get up in the middle of the night, go use the restroom, and then not be able to go back to sleep. But I went back to sleep. I went back into bed and I went back to sleep. I was just tired. And yet I woke up feeling like I hadn't slept at all. Welcome to fibromyalgia life. Because it's the truth. You go back to bed and you think, did I sleep? I don't remember sleeping. So, yep. This is going to be a very easy pattern. When we put this pattern up, we're going to do it with these cuts here and without them. So if you want, and I'm not going to charge I'm not going to, just because there'll be two patterns with this, I'm going to charge, we're going to charge $2 for it because it's so simple. And I'm trying to get this pattern done because we're going down to the Amish country on whatever day, I can't remember what day it is now, on Friday, because we've got soap caddies to have to go down to a store that's ordered soap caddies, which I have got to finish up. Whatever I have done is what's going to have to be done because they've got to dry. So anyway, I've got to be able to do that. And um, so I've got to finish those. But I needed a break. My hands needed a break from it. Yeah. Yep. Well, one thing I've noticed is if I have my juice, I mean, I was even too tired to try to get my juice in me the other night. But if I have my juice, I'm usually sleep better. I don't know what it is, but I do sleep deeper and I sleep better with having my juice. So Christina actually would like me to get her some juice going. Man. So I don't know where I heard it from, but I don't know where I heard it from, but somebody said, yeah, if you lost your monetization, you had to wait. You couldn't just get partial back, but I guess you can. We were able to do it. Maybe they've changed the rules since. I'm ready for it, y'all. I am so ready for it. I do a mixture. Um, this is my juice tonight. And it's still frozen. So in this is kale. I love kale. I don't know what kale does for you, but I love it. I can't have juice without kale in it. I love the taste of it. Kale and apple. So in our juicer, we have juicing videos. Kale and apple, and I take kale and apple, put that together, and then carrot. And we even take carrot, freeze them in ice cube trays, and I'll give some of the carrots to Mocha. I did tonight. She likes those. Pineapple and pear. The only thing about pear is either get really firm pears or get pears and do it with something hard like carrot or something like that. It's a mess when I used to do it. But what we do is because we shop for most of our stuff at the beginning of the month, we do I do get things, and then I put it in ice cube trays. And then all month long, I can go to my freezer and pull up. I've got watermelon in there. I've got pineapple in there. I've got pear. I've got spinach. I can kale, which is always on check. I actually like the kale better than the spinach. Um, but I can do all that. I've got strawberries, if it's strawberries, whatever is on a good deal. And then I freeze them, and then I don't have to think about hauling out the juicer and then putting all this stuff and preparing it. It's already prepared. I put it in ice cube trays, and we use a cold press juicer, which lasts longer, 3 days, lasts 3 days longer, 3 days versus like 24 hours. So we have a cold press juicer, which does better than the other juicer. And then we've got it all done. Like, I got a watermelon, and it did 16 cups of juice. I don't care who you are, you can't drink 16 cups of watermelon juice. So I went ahead and did it in ice cubes. And this way, if I do it in ice cube trays, put it in bags, we've got a deep freezer outside. I can go to my freezer and say, hey, I want to throw in some carrot, I want to throw in some pear, pineapple, watermelon, strawberry. We had a veggie platter from Sam's Club, and we didn't finish all the stuff, and there was celery, tomato, carrot, and broccoli in there. So I put that all in the juicer, and I froze that so I can throw that in. And it's the best. It's the best thing to do. Yeah. Yep. If you get your juice and you put it in you put it in ice cream trays, then you can, especially if you're dealing with a chronic illness. Sometimes you can't stand to do that, but at least if it's done already, then you don't have to do it. You don't have to sit there trying to do it. You've done it. So I put my things in ice cubes, and then I just go to my freezer going, what do I feel like today? And I didn't feel like watermelon, so watermelon didn't go in there. But I'm finding out kale has to go in my juice. Absolutely. That's one thing that has to go in. So got to put my kale in. Has to go in every time as my kale. And I usually do kale and apple just because that way I've got apple in it, and it tends to go through the juicer better if I put it with apple. The only thing that I pretty much do straight of is carrot, because what we'll do is we'll take carrot and we'll give Mocha ice cube things of carrot. She likes the ice cubes of carrot. So I'll do those pretty straight, and those are pretty easy. But I'll do solid carrot. Um, Christina wants apple, blueberry, strawberry. She said I can put a little kale in. I was like, okay. She said, just start me off small on the kale, Mom. I said, you'll love it. I said, I can't have my juice without kale in it. I've tried it without kale, and I don't like it. I didn't think I thought I was like, I won't like kale in my juice. And now I'm like, I've got to have my kale in my juice. It's so fun. It's funny to me. It's like, and my husband, the reason we kind of started juicing is my husband is a diabetic, and he also has something called gastrophoresis, which means the slowing of the stomach. That's why he can't do like the Ozempic or anything like that, because of the gastrophoresis. So anyway, he cannot process some of the fruits and vegetables that would be easy for people, because his stomach takes so long to actually absorb all the fruit, all the stuff. And so it's actually better for him if I juice for him, and he gets to have all of the stuff and he gets to drink it. He can't have it every day. He has to have it like twice a day and then have a break. He can't have it every day like I can. And I've had to start him off really slow and easy, and he's allergic to melon, so he can't have watermelon. There's things he can't have. But he's also one that would not have had, he won't do broccoli, because it's just too hard on his stomach. So if I can juice some of this stuff for him, then he's getting those nutrients that his body otherwise wouldn't be able to tolerate. because of the gastroparesis. And so it actually really helps for him. And, I've just had to be very, very kind of real tentative on how we've come about his juicing journey. I haven't been able to be too kind of had to take it a little slow with him. But for him to be able to have the juice and be able to absorb it into his body, I can start getting some stuff in him that otherwise I wouldn't be able to get into him because of the gastroparesis. So I know they say it gets rid of the fiber, but that's part of the problem is why he can't have some of this stuff, and then he's not getting all this wonderful stuff. All these minerals and vitamins that are in your fruits and stuff he's not getting because his stomach can't handle it. So then he doesn't have things that I can otherwise put in a juicer and he could tolerate. So for him, juicing really works really well, but we've had to be very cautious with him. And I've had to kind of start him off on I've had to be baby kind of baby his stuff along. The other day he had juice. I was starting to give it to him every day and he goes, "Nope, can't do that. Have to have a break." So we learned that one recently. And then he'll tell me what he can't tolerate. And we've had to do a little bit of a learning curve with him because of it. So anyway, but I find out I sleep better, and I find out that I don't really notice much about my pain level with it. But I do notice I actually do find out that I sleep better when I've had it. So there has to be something to that one. And I'm in the stage of my life too. And so I'm also noticing it is helping at night with a little bit of the hot flushes. So all part of it. But anyway, I'm just seeing I'm having to put this up a little bit differently because I'm going to be. So that's kind of my little. But that was one. Everybody was like, the fiber will be out. I'm like, well, that's part of my husband's problem. He can't absorb a lot of the fiber stuff. And then I can't get it into his body. And then he's not getting all these wonderful things. But he has. Yep. Yep. Well, just put in ice cream trays and then you can, and the thing too, then you're finding your deals. Like if the kale's on sale or this is on sale or vegetables and fruit that are in season, you can get them and then freeze them. You're not having to, just buy what's there. If watermelon is going to be better now than it is going to be in the middle of winter. But I'm going to probably have watermelon in my freezer to enjoy because I've done it. I think they said it'll last up to 6 months. So sometimes you have to kind of lift up the other one, especially with these doubles. So anyway, but thank you all, because if it wasn't our community, it was our community that got us back to this. And it was my community that decided that I wasn't allowed to give up, even though there was days where I thought I'm just going to give up, forget it. Thank you all for not allowing me to give up. All right. I'm feeling like I gotta look at my pattern a minute. So that one there. That's there. That's there. But hold on, I gotta see something for a second. This goes down here. This is one strip. That was an accidental cut. That's what that was. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about it. If you can get things when they're in season, great. But then if you can't, then you just go ahead and freeze them, and then you don't have to worry about them. You know, or somebody gave us kale the other day, and I'm like, I've got to do it, but I got to get some apples. So anyway, I'm so excited. About time. I'm trying to see if I think I need a darker. Let me see this for a second. I need it darker on the side, but that may be the darkest piece, I think. No, let me flip it over. Oh, that'll be better. No, I don't think. I think either side will work, but that'll look more like that. So we'll. Wait a minute. That doesn't look as dark as I want it to. Yep. Well, we have videos on. I need to get back to doing some more, but the one thing too that I would highly recommend, or highly from experience, um, is the one problem that I had was, and I still have them in the refrigerator, and I just haven't had a chance to give them a try. But I decided to do beets because I do have low iron, and I thought I needed to try beets. I would highly recommend. Now, here's the thing, they tell you to do beets on an empty stomach. Why? I have no idea. But I did beets, I had too many, and let me tell you how nauseous I felt. Oof. And Josh had the same issue. So I have beets in the freezer that I just haven't hauled out yet. And I if I did beets again, I would do them, and I'd make them. I'd only do the ice cube tray, literally halfway up. I wouldn't fill the whole thing with beets. That way they could actually. I just start out with just a little bit. Um, and I would not have it on an empty stomach ever again. I know you're supposed to have it on an empty stomach. I will never do it on an empty stomach ever again. Because I mean, I was so nauseous after I did that. I literally had to go to bed and lay down. And I thought, whatever's in is gonna, and it never did. But whew, I can tell you that for a while after that, I could move around and things were popping and cracking. So, but I was like, phew, never again. I will never do beets on an empty stomach. And they did say that beets and carrots shouldn't be done together. So I was like, okay. And I had done beets and carrots. I don't think it did any damage, but still, that's what I was. But then you hear where you're supposed, you know, part of the frustration is that I don't think that I've watched people talk about what you shouldn't do and what you should do and what you shouldn't be. And it's like, hi, Riches, welcome on in. You know, so anyway. I mean, they just tell you it's like, come on. Or you get these cliffhangers that say, "Oh, the 10 deadliest things to do when you're doing beats," and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" And then you get into it, and it's like, this cliffhanger kind of video. So anyway, but it's a good day in the neighborhood. Very good day in the neighborhood. Good day in the neighborhood. Those people coming in, if you haven't seen what's above us, we were approved. We got it. Well, we got partial. We're not fully monetized, but we're back to memberships and all that kind of jabber. That was just, and it happened right here when we were live. I went into my studio and I'm like, yes, we did it. We did it, y'all. I was hoping we'd be live when it happened. Sure enough, we were. So we are back to that stage. We're still about 600 hours away from fully monetized, but that will happen, I think, very quickly. At least we're back to the other part. And guys, I couldn't do it without you. I think Kinusaiga helped. And y'all didn't allow me to give up. And I thank you tremendously because there was times I sure felt like giving up, but I didn't. And I thank you all for not letting me. Because I really, when it first happened, I was like, do you even bother? And I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad we just kept pressing forward. I did it for Mama, but I did it with my community. I don't take credit. I'll sit here and say till the end. We have the best community on YouTube. We have the best community as far as community as we are. And it's not because of all what you do. Welcome on in. Thank you for becoming a member. But it's not because of what y'all do. It's just the fact that y'all show up. And it means the world. Yeah. That's what a lot of people say, and it really makes me feel good. I've heard that from a lot of people that they really have sat there and said, one thing that keeps coming back about us and especially everything is that Mary is just so supportive of so many other people on YouTube, and it makes me feel good. I'm like, well, I try because that's what it's all about. If you support others, you're going to get blessings back in return. That's what it's all about. And, it's not about anything else but if you bless others, you are going to be blessed. It's just the way it works. And if you try to sit here and there's people, you run your YouTube channel however you want to run your YouTube channel. I want to be there to say, we're here to support and we're here to connect people and be just a constant place where people can come in and have support. And that's what we're here for. Nothing fancy, nothing anything. We're just here to support each other. That's all we're here to do. Because I know what it's like to not have that. To be where you feel like you don't have anybody and you don't have anybody to talk to and your life is struggling or, like Flow Farm is dealing with all of the things that she has to deal with. But if for a little bit of time she feels like she's not alone and she can have the support of our community and feel like she's got it, then it's worth it, you know? It makes me happy when people come in and they say, I'm having a rough day, but I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be a part. Or when I go on and people sit there and say, go support Blessed to Crochet because she is so supportive to other people. It just makes me like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And I've been so blessed. I mean, I've been blessed a lot, and I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful for it all. So I just want people to know that we care. That was that story about Elvis, and I'll go back to it for those people that don't have it. I think it's very fitting to be able to say this. A lot of people have forgot where I was going to be. Hold on a second. They have here it is. Very, very misconception of who Elvis Presley was. I know that he had an issue with drugs. I get that. I know he had an issue with some other things in his life. I understand that. But Elvis also did a lot of things behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't see, and he bought houses for people, he bought cars for people, he did things for people that people just did not see, and that he took place and did because he just wanted to give. He remembered what it was like to be poor, and he always remembered that. He always wanted to give back. And so his entourage brought him a article in the newspaper, and they said, "Boss, you got to read this." And it was about this woman who had no legs. She had no legs. She had cared for her children, she had cared for her grandchildren, and he said, "Find out where she lives." And she went ahead and he said, "Get me the nicest wheelchair you could ever buy." And so, anyway, nicest wheelchair, the most electric wheelchair you can buy. And so he did. And they got it. And so they found out where she lived. They put this wheelchair in the back of the limo. And here's something to say about this. He didn't bring camera crews. He didn't bring newspaper crews. Of course, then they didn't have all the stuff we have today. He didn't bring camera. He didn't bring anything, right? He just brought the wheelchair and he went and took it himself. He didn't have somebody just drop it off. They knocked on the door. They asked if the wife was there, and the husband showed up. Now, for those people that say that Elvis was racist, these people were African American. He didn't have a racist bone in his body. Anyway, and that doesn't matter, but a lot of people have also said that about Elvis, and that's farther from the truth. Um, and so anyway, he went in the house. He brought in the wheelchair. She came around the corner. Now she had this board that they had put wheels on, and then she had these roller skates that she put her hands in so that she could wheel around the house on this little board. And they said the floors were spotless. She came around the corner and there's this beautiful, beautiful wheelchair. And she says, "Is that for me?" And he said, "Yes." And Elvis says, "I don't know much about this wheelchair, but I just know it goes really, really fast." And he said, "I'll take you wherever you want to go." She said, "Can I sit in it?" And of course, he picked her up. Him and Sonny West picked her up and put her in the wheelchair. And I'm sure she gave the husband some money. And the Elvis gave the husband some money. And they left because Elvis is ready to cry. People are crying and everything. She's just happy. And so they leave. One of the bodyguards sat there and said, "Elvis, I don't think she knew who you were." He said, "It don't matter who I am. This is Elvis. This is Elvis Presley. One that could have made a huge story out of this and gotten some press and all that kind of stuff. He wasn't interested in any of that." Just turned around to his bodyguard. He said one simple phrase. He said, "Doesn't matter who I am. It matters that she knows someone cares about her. That's all that matters. Not that I'm Elvis Presley, not anything. She just needs to know someone cares." And that's what I try to do here. I want people to know, and when I go on the YouTube streets, that you are cared for and that you are important. And that's what I try to do. Yes, he did. He paid for many children. He also, those the people that do not know, the Arizona Memorial was finished because Elvis did a concert. Um, he actually that memorial is finished because of Elvis. They were having trouble finishing it. He did a concert and he was able to get that memorial finished. That memorial in Hawaii would have never been finished without him. And they did have a plaque up there at one point, and I hope they put it back up. I think they took it down, but then because it was because of his concert that they were actually able to finish the Arizona Memorial in Hawaii. They were like, I don't remember how much. And when he did that memorial, not the memorial, the Hawaii. By the way, the Aloha from Hawaii special was one of, I mean, it was world breaking as far as all that. And um, it was it was amazing because he was the first one that was able to do like the satellite thing when he did that concert. And for those people that don't necessarily like his music, I tell them just go watch that concert. But he raised about $75,000 in that concert alone for cancer. And at the very end of the concert, he took off his, he did it twice too. And I'm telling you that I think they said his cape, which was full of gems and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember how much it cost, but it was a pretty penny, let's just tell you that. And he knew that if he threw out that cape, it was going to change somebody's life. Very end of the concert, you see him, they put the cape on his back, and he just flings it out to the audience. And somebody in Florida, somebody got it. They actually winded up in Florida. It's back in the it's back at Graceland. But he took that and he just, I mean, he threw it out in the audience. He knew that if somebody sold it, it would change their life. So he was a very generous person, but I hadn't found that story about him until I listened to that thing about Sonny West telling stories about Elvis, and I thought, these are the stories you don't hear about. But I will always love Elvis because my dad and I we had a great bond about Elvis. And when he had dementia, I could put on Elvis. I couldn't put on the sad songs, but I could put on the happy songs. And he'd be in his wheelchair and he'd go like this. He'd move his feet and he would dance and he would smile, and we just had a very special bond. So I felt like I had my dad back for 2 seconds. All right. Here's the crisp of this whole thing. I'm wondering because these three colors, and they're the lighter color. Well, that's the lighter colors of that. Because, but I felt like coming on last night, but I literally fell asleep. I was asleep. I fell asleep after I got off the live. I went to bed at 10 o'clock and I slept till 8 o'clock last night. I was that tired. I was really, really tired last night. I was exhausted. My body could do no more. So I'm wondering if I should do something like this. I think it'd be really pretty. Kind of pull, because we did the lighter, but now we kind of go to the darker and maybe add this color in it. Because I'm really kind of liking that with that. So I have to see. I mean, like I said, I'm being a little bit extra precaution on this piece because I know it's possibly going to go into a store. So I'd like it to be a little bit. So I'm wondering if I should put this has to be, I think what we have to do, at least I think, is I'm kind of liking that next against that. So I'm thinking, yep, exactly. Yep. I'm just debating. I'm debating. All right, so we have to kind of look at this piece in a little bit of a different way, I think, than what I was originally thinking of. We have to realize that this piece here, coming from here, let's begin there. Let's start here. Even though I may not put each one of these pieces Like this may not be a whole blue either, right? Because we have to look at this against here. And I don't know if I totally like that. So I think that's, if you're going to do this one, I think you got to line it up with whatever piece. I think that's too much. So I have to look at the green, and then I have to realize I gotta match it up to that. I don't know if I totally like that with that either. I think that's too much with it. I'm not that I don't like at all. That I do not like at all. So I have to look at it from the green standpoint. I don't like that. You can see Mocha's hair on it. Let's look at the lighter. I'm stumped. I'm really stumped. I shouldn't be stumped, but I kind of am. Let me see something for a second. What do you think of this? Now this is something I'm using for there. I don't know yet. We're doing this. The green light layer like brightens it up. Okay. What about something like this? Going around there? Yeah, it's kind of like a bluish gray. Like this. What about doing something like this? We can try this, right? Put like this here. I got this at the blooming place. What do you think of that? Doing this in the next bar over. Okay. So we do this one matching up to this because I think this matching up to green, it just doesn't do, it doesn't work. So let's do this strip first. I think that's the answer to do. At least I hope it is because my brain is not there tonight. It's still recovering. I am ready for it to recover. I've got to get some more of this. It is I don't know if y'all can see it. It was from the Bloom Grove place, and I absolutely love it. Let me just try something. I just had my end. This is part of experimenting, and it's fine to experiment. Where is that? Not that one. what about this one? This one I actually may even like better than that. And that may be really good to use even all the way around. What do you think of this? I forgot about this. I kind of really like that. Kind of using more like this little bit of white, nor this part here. It has a little bit of sparkle in it. I kind of really like this. What do y'all think? It's not solid, but I think it may look really good all the way around for that part of it. Yep, I'm kind of liking it. I know, but I think part of it is asking you all because I kind of like asking what you think and going with what everybody else thinks. I'm kind of liking that. I think it'll look really good. I think especially if I could get this to line up like right there. I think I like this. Cuz I think it brightens it up. Forgot about that piece. And that I got at Bloom Grove place. I got to keep track of where I got all this fabric. And I want to go down to the other place that's supposed to have like $4 yard fabric. But I was too tired. You see it? It looks like the sky. It's really pretty. So let's find a white section right there. And we're going to do this all the way around. Because I like it better than the. Let's find a white section. I need a white section. And this is what you do. You just keep trying stuff out. And you find out this right here. This is that's really pretty, right? Kind of there. I like. Well, that's what I do. You're, well, you're already stuck with me, so you can't try anything else. He's got me. He'll sit there and say, he said, I got the best thing in the world. Now we have to do a little bit down further because we're going to be going down a side. There we go. So tomorrow, I may not, like I said, I may not be on here terribly long because I do have to save that for part of, I can't show you all yet. I have to see. I got to save it for this too. So I always go back and get more if I needed it. But I've got to go work on Soap Caddy thing. I really like that. I think that's going to be pretty. It's got a little bit of the silver to match the silver here. It looks good. But tomorrow I have to wait for the Soap Caddy pieces to dry. But I have to, before I can go to bed, I've got to finish sewing them all together because then they've got to sit and kind of marinate. If that makes any sense. I put the glue on and then I really want to make sure the glue sticks without a problem. Yeah, I like the silver to kind of match the silver there. I think it looks nice. It's not too much overpowering with the stained glass, but it just felt like it needed something. I didn't quite know what it needed, but it needed something. And then we'll figure out the next step, which I don't know what that will be yet. I'm kind of thinking that it may look really pretty, actually, because this part here is going to go past here, and it's going to go it's going to go up like this section, if I can remember how to do it right. It might look really pretty because this from here to do this lighter, possibly purple. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it may just really cloud that. But it also may look really good for the darker purple to come into play. We'll see. We're playing this by ear. Anything that I thought I was going to do, I've totally changed my mind, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to change your mind. If something looks better, then do it. He's telling you what to do. Yep. I just think next to that green, you needed something. I just didn't know what it was. And I've got other stuff I can pull out of my magic box over there. But it needed a little bit of the white to kind of show through. Like that's why I picked one with a little bit of white. So it had a little bit of white going through it. But I really like the sparkles on it. It's got little silver sparkles that match up to this little silver sparkle. And I am going to do a video. I'm planning to do one that talks about fibromyalgia and husbands. You know, there was an article I found and it talked about 5 things that a spouse needs to know about somebody that has fibromyalgia. And I thought, yep, those are all points I could honestly bring up to the table. So I thought I do want to do a video on that because it's just so important that the spouse really, really understands what the person's going through, you know. And, you know, when they get tired and fatigued and, you know, Josh is really good about it. I'm so grateful because when he can see I'm done, he can see it. He knows it. He'll just sit there and say, you know, come on, you need to take care of yourself now. Stop pushing. And the medication I take, I don't like to necessarily take it. I take it twice a day because I know if I don't, I'm going to be in really bad shape. I'm not going to do well. But there's been times I've like not wanted to take it, and he'll go, I'm like, I'm hurting. I'm like, he'll like, when is the last time you took your medicine? And he'll look at my little thing because I have a little thing on my phone that tells me exactly when I had my medicine, so I don't have to make this brain remember because it's not going to. And he'll look and he say, it's been like 12 hours since you've had your pill. Here, take it. He'll just come over and he'll put it right. I don't want to take it. And he goes, I don't care. You're hurting. You'll feel better. I'm so careful with my medicine. It goes into my phone and I know exactly when I had it last because anybody that has to take medicine, it's a controlled issue. Please get an app on your phone, please. And that way, you know, when you've had your medicine last, you're not trying to have your mind remember. You're not going to. I even put my allergy medicine in there because I can only take a half of a Zyrtec every 24 hours. And I will forget if it's been like, you know, because in the winter I don't have to take it as much. So if it's been like, you know, 2 or 3 days, I won't remember. So I will put it in my phone and I don't have to think about it. Oh, I had it, you know, 2 days ago. I don't have to think about it. So you've got a medication that you have to be very careful with. Put it in your, get an app on your phone, keep track. And what's nice is if my doctor needed to see when I took my medicine, I can print it out and show it to him. And I've had doctors say, I wish more patients would do that. I'm like, I don't trust here. I don't. And I was at the hospital one time or something. Yep, exactly. Yep. Well, I don't even do it. Yep. I use Pill Alert or something. I can't remember what I use, but you can go into your Apple store, your app store, and just download one, and it'll keep track of it. And I don't care what time of day it is. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I need my medicine, I put it in my phone. I don't take it without it going right in there. It's habit now. So if I wake up in the middle of the night, I need it. It goes in my phone. But I was at the hospital one time. Of course, the nurses keep track of all that. You don't have to keep track of your medication. But I was there and she gave me my medicine. And then I opened my phone. She goes, "Well, what you doing?" And I said, "I'm putting my medicine in." "What time you gave me my medicine?" She goes, "You don't have to do that." I said, "Oh, yes, I do." Because I said, that way I know. I said, I'm in such a habit of doing it. I don't want to get out of the habit of doing it. So I said, it keeps me on deck. I just, and I've tried every medicine under the planet for fibromyalgia, and I've all had a reaction to it except for one. So I'm very careful with it. So I won't take a chance for nothing. So I put it in my phone and then I don't have to think about it. But the nurse was so shocked, and I'm like, nope. My husband just looked and said, she won't steer away from that. I'm like, no, I won't. And I think too, you have to have people in your, I mean, in your in your circle that will, like my husband knows that if ever he feels he needs to take control of my medicine and hand it to me, I'm fine with that too. I've never needed that, but you need to have that into your wheelhouse. You know, I mean, my aunt had an issue with medication like I'm on, and it was not fun. I, on the other hand, do not sit here and think about it all day. I take my medicine twice a day, and that's it. And I find out if I don't take it, like I've thought, oh, I'm not that bad. I just need the one pill. Then I really hurt the next day because I'm not staying on top of it. So, and I remember my aunt went to a doctor. I don't remember what it was. She was with my mother. That was the aunt that passed away was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. And she she walked in. The doctor took one look at her and just looked at her and said, "Ma'am." 10 minutes later, just looked right at her and said, "Ma'am, you're a drug addict. You have a problem with this type of medication." And he's like, "How do you know?" And I think there's just doctors know. And I thankfully have had doctors that have trusted me, and I'm very grateful. But yeah. I also know I'd be bedridden if I didn't. But Josh can't handle the medicine that I'm on. But they've tried gabapentin on me, and I got very depressed very quickly with gabapentin, like within one pill. I was like, it was not a good time. So they couldn't give me gabapentin because of it. So gabapentin they've tried all the Lyrica and Cybulta and all of them, and they don't work. I have an allergic reaction to it. So to either take something or be in agony all day, and I would like to have some kind of relief. I'll never be totally relieved from it, but at least it helps. But you have to treat it with a lot of respect, that's for sure. And I do. So I'm grateful for it. So then we got this. So this is going to go up. I'm really liking this. I think it looks good against the green. Yeah. Gavin Penton. Gavin Penton was not a good scene for me at all. Not one bit. I will never take Gavin Penton again in my life. Not one iota. That was not fun. So then this goes up here. Let's just say very quickly, I wanted to leave this world on that medicine. That was how quick it was. One pill, and Josh was like, "Oh no, 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 you're not getting this pill again." Yeah, I mean, I got really depressed and just very fast, and I was crying, and I was just, and then we figured out very quickly, thankfully, what it was, because I took the pill, and then it was like he said it was just he said within 2 hours, he said you just flipped a switch. And thankfully, he was there, and he could see what was happening, and he could walk me through it. And then once it went out of my system, he said it was like this darkness came over you after about like an hour or 2 hours in your body. You could just see you go like from here to this way. And then he said, once it went through your body, you came back up. So we figured out what it was very quickly, and he just walked me through it, and he said, you're not taking this medicine again. Nor did I want to. I didn't like the way I felt. And then they wanted me on some kind of depression medicine. And I felt like I was on a boat with that medicine. That didn't last very long either. I felt like I was on a boat. And then I also felt like I was very snippy. Like depression medicine's supposed to do the other side of it. Not for me. For me, it made me feel like oh, it was horrible. To my doctor going, I don't think so. He said, well, he said, it did the opposite of what it's supposed to. And I'm like, yep, and I'm not taking it again. And I also don't want to feel like I'm on a boat when I'm not. It was not fun. That didn't last long either. And here's just a little side note for people that are fibromyalgia patients. If they are trying new medications for you, because my doctor, when I first moved to Cincinnati, he was a nice doctor. He said, well, we're going to try these medications. I just looked at him and I said, I already have an anxiety to new medication. I already have issues with me kind of having issues with me trying new medicine. I said, so if you want me to try this, I'll do you. Do what you want me to do. I have no problem doing that. But we're gonna do it my way. And I said, my way is I will try one pill at a time. Because if I throw all three of these medications into my body, I'm going to go into an anxiety issue, an anxiety attack, and I'm not going to know which one I'm having an issue with. So I said, it may take me 2 months to be able to go through what you want me to do in order for me to come back to you and say, okay, this is what worked and this is what didn't. And he said, I don't care how long it takes you. We'll keep you on your current medicine till we can switch over to this. Now, how long that lasted? I had problems with every solitary medication he threw at me. It was either allergy related or something, and it didn't agree with me or it didn't work. And so we got through the three medications, and he just looked at me and said, okay, we're done. I said, good, because so am I. It's like, was that? But I said, I will do it your way, because every doctor seems like they've had to do it with me. And then when we get done, we'll see where we're at. But I said, I'm not doing it. I'll try each medication separately, and then we'll go from there. And then I would call his office and tell him what reaction I was having with that certain medication. And so I call them up and say, this is what I was having. I was having an upset stomach, or I was very drowsy on the medication, whatever I was having that was a real problem. I call the office and say, well, we put that one on my allergy medication list because I'm having this reaction to it. So anyway, we got to the end of the 3 medications and he just looked at me and said, we're going back to your old medication. I said, good. He said, we're not changing your old medication. And he just looked at me and said, you're the first fibromyalgia patient that this has actually worked for. And I'm like, yep, I told you. But we had to do it your way, and that's fine. I was willing to do it, but I had to do it the way that I was going to have to do it. And I'm glad I did, because if I had taken all 3 of those medications, I wouldn't have known what was making me sleepy, what was making me drowsy, what was making me nauseous, what was making me feel like I was on a boat. So if a doctor you're going to wants to throw medications at you, as long as it's not like you need to take the medication because of a serious illness or anything like that, I'm not saying that, but if it was something like this where we were trying different medications for purposes like this, take it one little bit at a time, because you don't know, and then you don't know what's going to work and what's not. And if you can, I mean, there's sometimes you have to take a bunch of combinations of medicines for it to work, but just I just looked at him and said, that's fine. I have no problem doing it your way, but we're doing it one at a time. Like, that's fine. Sure enough, problems with each one of them. And he later said to me, he goes, I'm really glad you tried them individually. And I'm like, yep. He said, because then we wouldn't have known which ones were affecting you. I said, well, that's why I do what I do. Because if not, it's like I can take, I think it's a Menton. I can take Augmentin, but I can't take Augmentin in the 800. I can only do it in the uh, the uh, the 500. I can't do it in the 800. My body can't tolerate it. So whenever they do that, they have to give me it in the 800, not in the 500. Or they have to give me in the 500, not the 800. So my body can't handle it. So anyway, but just because they say you have to try new medication, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you know, unless you have to do it for, like I said, unless it's like, as I said, in order for this to work, it's got to be this combination of medicine, which it was going to be 3 new medications my body was going to have to tolerate. I was not going to do it until we sat and figured out which medications I could handle. And come to find out, there were none I could handle. Yep. Well, unfortunately, I go into, and it's just I mean, when you're dealing with fibromyalgia, you have anxiety when it comes to new medicine, or anxiety. And so one of my anxieties is when I start new medication, I can go into an anxiety attack just over new medication. And I know that about myself. I don't like it. I wish I didn't have to deal with it, but it is the way it is. But I was not going to put 3 pills into my body and not know which one I was going to have a reaction to. So it took a couple weeks. I tried each one of the pills, and this didn't work. And I think I kind of learned that after I did the gabapentin, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this again. So after we did the gabapentin, I learned that was thankfully with the gabapentin, I did it in a way that I realized I better, because that was kind of scary. And I'm glad I just had that rolling through my body, and I wasn't sitting here kind of, you know, kind of kind of at a point where I was like, what am I taking that's making me feel this way? So, doctor prescribes you medication and you're not sure how your body's going to respond. He wants you to try 3 different medications at once. Unless it's, you know, absolutely medically necessary, take one at a time and see what floats. I mean, you can tell what's going on. I wouldn't have been able to tell. So I had, well, none of them worked. And then he admitted later, he's like, "Yeah, you were right." I'm like, "Yeah, I tried to tell you." I think sometimes doctors forget that you also know your body better than they know you. It's like Josh is a conundrum. His body is just like, and he'll tell the doctors, he's like, I know myself and I know my body. And I think sometimes doctors forget that you are the person inside the body and you know how your body responds to stuff. So, you know, I had it when I was having that issue after Patty died, and I had a wonderful lady who helped me through that, a woman doctor, and they wanted to do a procedure, you know, and after I winded up in the hospital, and they wanted to do a little bit of a procedure just to take care of the issue. And she just, I went into her office, underneath the anesthesia for it. And I thought, well, this is just going to be light. She goes, no, it's going to be full anesthesia. And I just started, I was just crying. I was just crying. And she had her board in her hand. She was holding it. She had the clipboard. She just put it down. She goes, we're not doing this right now. She said, you are not in a position to do this. She said, we're going to do another round of medication. And that's all I needed was another round. We're going to do another round of medication and see if that doesn't take care of the issue. She said, we're not doing this right now. She said, you're not in a position to have this done. And she said, this does not need to be done. Let's try to see if we can get the medication to take care of this and come back when you're calmer, because she said, you're not up for this right now. I mean, I just started. I mean, I was in her office. I felt terrible, but I was in her office. I was just crying. And she was like, and I'm telling her everything. I'm like, my aunt just died. And I mean, it was just like, she's like, you are not, this is not, and I was tired and exhausted and I was dealing with so much. And she goes, no, we're not doing this right now. So she just put her clipboard down and she realized that, I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I just was overwhelmed and I couldn't handle it. And the thought of going into the hospital, and it was an out, it would have been an out procedure, but still, I just couldn't even, I couldn't handle it. So she just put her clipboard down and said, we're not doing this right now. We'll do it later, she said, but we're gonna let you. She realized my body needed some time to recover. She just realized I was just not. I'm loving this blue fabric. I think we made the right choice. I didn't like it looks really cool. It picks up on the silver and the gray, and I really like it. I think it worked out well. So she was, and don't just sit there and think you gotta go for that specific. Move your fabric around till you find where you think you want it to be. Just because that's the next part up doesn't mean you have to use that part. I have to finish the project for my other's keeper I started on. But I can't show you all that. It's really cool, but I can't show you. I promised I would show. But I'm going to do more patterns like that. Actually, Christina wants to do one like that too. too light, the teardrop ones. But I got this for that. I have plenty. I can always go back and get more. So anyway, but she was really an amazing lady. And she just realized, you're just too overwhelmed. I said, thank you. And I was just crying in her office, and she goes, you're just, it's not, well, don't worry about this. Let's get you. She said, you got to de-stress yourself. And I was just, there was a lot going on when my aunt died, and I was tired. I was exhausted, you know. She said, there's no, this is not, you're not having a medical issue. I was having a medical issue, but I wasn't having anything that needed like medical attention right then and there. So, she just was like, no, we're good. Let's get you calmed down. We need more doctors like her. She's very sweet. She was sweet in the hospital when I was in the hospital. But I think what she should have done is she gave me like 20 milligrams in the hospital of the medication I was on. And she should have given me like 20 milligrams like right out of the gate. She didn't. So I had to go on like 3 rounds of it, but it finally worked itself out. I don't know why they unsub people. I'm telling you what, I have no idea why they unsub people. I have no idea why. None whatsoever. I wish I knew. And I think you're only allowed to have like 2,000 subs. I think, not 2,000. I think you're only allowed to sub to like 2,000 people, which I think is ridiculous. Like, I think Poetic Tears was like, she had to actually unsub to people because she was subbed to too many people. I'm like, why? Why do we need to do that? I don't understand that. We're supposed to be, I don't know. I haven't gotten to that stage yet. there probably will be a time when I will have sub to people and I can't sub to anymore, or I'll have to unsub to people. But so far I haven't come across that yet. But I know she said she had to unsub to people because she was, YouTube was like, you subbed to too many people. You can only sub to, why is that? Oh, I gotta figure that out because it's, yeah, I'm being more picky about this piece because hoping to take it down to that shop that we're in. So I'm being a little bit more fickle about certain things with it. Yeah, they will unsub. That's why we tell people here. That's why Tuber Chat tells people to make sure that when you go in, you watch at least a 3-minute video. You comment, you interact. Sorry guys, I know that was so loud. You interact with them so that they don't think it's just a bot doing it. Like we were over, what was it, 2340, and we lost 2 people. Like, so why YouTube does what YouTube does, I can't tell you. I don't understand half what they do. Whatever thing they said I hit, I'm gonna make sure dang on it I never hit it again. It's never gonna. I will not. I hope to never hit it again. Ah, because I don't ever want to go through this. I don't want to ever go through having to lose monetization like that again. It's not been fun. And we're not quite all there yet. We're gonna party when it happens, I'm telling you. But at least we're not far away from that. I think we're gonna, and I've got like 715 hours banked that we still have. I mean, that they have to kind of credit me for in order to kind of get back to full monetization. So I think it'll happen very quickly. It's just, at least we got the first round. We can. I'm so thankful. And I was sitting there. I was sitting. I hope it happens while we're live. It'd be really cool, and it did. It's like yay, because then I could celebrate with my fam, with my YouTube fam. So, and thanks everybody for understanding about yesterday. I was just in no shape for nothing. I was trying to pull it out. It was, pull the strength to do it, and it was just not happening. It was not going to. I couldn't make myself come live yesterday for nothing. And see, I'll sit there and watch YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook Reels, till I can go to like settle and stop my mind from going. And Josh will tap me and he'll say, "Mary." He said, "Mary," and I didn't even have the camera on yesterday. I was that tired. He said, "Mary, you turn off your phone because the reel will be on repeat, and then he'll be like, 'Mary, turn off your phone,' or I'll be." And that's why I have a ring on my phone, because I'll drop my phone. It's like I'll fall asleep with it in my hand because I'm trying to get my mind to stop. So I was just giving everybody an update about Mocha last night. That was all. I thought I gotta give everybody and let her know she did fine at the vet. We walked in the vet. I've never seen this person before. He was so nice. I was so proud of Mocha. So proud. Because he walked in, or the other vet wasn't in yet. And he walked in, and he just was so calm. And he had never really met Mocha before. He was really calm, very nice guy. And I told him that. I said, I think he was like a vet in training or whatever it was. I don't know, or a vet assistant or whatever it was. But he was just so nice and calm, and just had this very, very calming voice. And he reached out his hand, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good, because Mocha's never met him before, and Mocha has stranger danger because of the way that she was raised before we got her, right? So I'm like, this is not going to end well. And she just went up and she sniffed his hand and she backed off. She never growled. And I said to him, "Have you ever met Mocha?" He goes, "Yeah, there's a little note in our chart that she's not very friendly." And then I told him the story, and I said, "Well, this is why." And he goes, "Well, I wouldn't be too friendly after it was done all that either." He said, "If I was held by the collar and choked by neighborhood kids that thought it was funny and done all that," he said, "I wouldn't be too friendly either." He said, "I don't blame her." And then he bent down and he greeted her, and she didn't do anything. I was so proud of her. I was like, yes. I was so proud of her. She did. It was nice to see. And I said, "How did she do?" She said, "Oh, they did fine." And I'm like, so she was resting today because they have to put her down. But she did fine. I thought I wasn't going to sleep whatever day it was that she went to the vet. I did. I slept Monday. And then we were up at 8 o'clock again on Tuesday. So I was up at 8 o'clock this morning, but I had fallen asleep at 10 o'clock last night. Oh, so she was a champ. So now her nails look good. She got her anal glands done and all that kind of fun stuff. So we got this. So now this. You're doing this pattern. Hold on a second. I have to look at this a second. Okay, wait. Why did I do that? Because this. To look at this a second. Okay, so we got this. That's that. I forgot to make cuts for some reason. So this makes a cut down to here. So I'm trying to tell Christina too, you got to have your pattern on hand because something like this, you go, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do there? I'm liking, hopefully you all like it. I'm really liking that blue. It looks really cool with it. Yeah, me too. I think that blue was the right one to go with. I really like it. I think it goes well with the stained glass. It pulls in the silver and the gray and the white. Looks really cool. Mm-hmm. I love it too. So for whatever day it is, I think it's Friday, we're going down to the Amish country. And I'm going to find some fabric. See, let's see if I can find a little bit more. Maybe I'll find some fall leaves, but I'd like to find some fabric from the store that we're going to be putting a pumpkin in. But let's see if I can get this done. So tomorrow, I think what I'm going to do is finish this part. And then the rest will be pretty easy, actually. After I figure out what this is going to be inside. I don't know yet. Because tomorrow the soap caddies are just going to be hanging out. I have to finish them before I go to bed. You got some, well, good. Can't wait to see all the stuff you're going to create. I was thinking of not coming live tonight. I thought, no, I need the seam ripper. And my hands need a break from the crochet. I need to do seam ripping. I need the seam ripper in my hands. So anyway, and tomorrow's Sam's Club. So I have to get off here and go pay bills, which are not fun. Ever said paying bills were fun. I put up a reel on Facebook and it was funny. I tagged my daughter. I said, who said growing up was going to be fun? Stressful? What was it? Stressful, tiring, exhausting, and you get happy when the laundry gets done. I said, yeah. And then you sit there and realize, yeah, you're happy for 5 seconds, and then you realize whatever you have on you has to be washed. So the laundry's never done. It's like, yeah, I laughed with that one. I was like, that was funny. Yep. Yep. Seam ripper in the hand had to happen tonight. I needed it. And then I was glad that I was like, let me just check and see. Sure enough, I was like, it would have been special to hit that when I was, I'd have been jumping for joy too, but it was just really extra special that we did it with our community watching. That made it really even more special. And I was kind of getting a little concerned because I'm like, I don't remember it taking that long before. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what if they come back and say, you are not able to have that? I'm like, so I was really hoping it was gonna happen and not take a month. Like, I can't remember it taking a month before. But I really like them. But I'm so glad I got this. So I think we need to do another. I'm liking putting a little bit of the white. Of course, I don't want to get rid of all the white because I'm going to need it for that picture. So let's do this. I'll add a little bit of white without it being overkill. Let's do actually this end. But no, that's not going to be enough. Let's do this. Oh. Yeah, let's stick with this. We'll use this end. Be fine. This one we have to do a little longer because we got to get over the side. I did have another blue. It looked like sky, but I like the fact that this says the silver in it because it just looks good. So anyway. So anyway. I'm glad they did come live tonight. Took a break. And this will go in my possible. I don't know if I'll ever use them, but I do keep a little scrap pile just in case. If I think I'm going to use it, this I won't use that. I know, but that other one, maybe if I need a little something, right? I'm just gonna. I may never use it, but I'll keep it. But tomorrow we're gonna finish this. I've got to take it with me when I go to the. Gotta go get more yarn at Hobby Lobby tomorrow for the soap caddies because I gotta be ready for the next order for them. But I want to get them down there Friday for sure. I told them I'd have them down there by the 6th or 7th. Yeah, I mean to keep my promise. I like the Amish country, but I don't want to go down there on a Saturday. If we save that time for when there's people that are going down there that are tourists. Because unfortunately, we can go down there. We're not people that are on vacation trying to enjoy the Amish country. We're here all the time, so we can go down anytime. I do not want to go down there on a Saturday. But there is, last time Josh and I went down there for our anniversary, we went 2 places. We went to Souls, which I found out what their rate was for a booth, which can't happen right now, but down the road maybe. And also there was this ice cream place, this gentleman that was making ice cream from like a little steam engine, handmade ice cream. Oh, so good. Oh. Josh and we shared a ice cream. It was so good. We had that before we had dinner. And then we went to Yoder's, which has delicious food. They have a buffet great chicken, probably the most moist chicken I've ever had in my entire life. And so we had the chicken and we had the buffet. And then I like, we had dessert. And if I like cherry pie, and they had cherry pie. Oh my goodness, the best cherry pie I've ever had in my life. So good. So, but if we go down there, we'll probably go to, that was special because it was our anniversary, but we'll probably go, if we go there, um, if we go there for, down to the place, we'll probably go to Walnut Creek and go upstairs because they have like a little place you can get food up there and it's reasonable. So we'll probably go up there and just get lunch. We can get out of here early enough. We have to pack the rest of the soap caddies. Then I go down and see Mary at the Amish herb soap place. She is so sweet. Ugh, I love the Amish country. I have to reach out to the Christmas shop and see about what they are interested in possibly carrying our soap caddies Christmas style. And Grinch and Ohio Buckeyes. We'll see. Right now I'm just trying to get this one done, which would be nice. I have to go into the store that I dropped the first ones off. And for some reason, I thought I had put 100% cotton on them, and I didn't. And the lady at that store brought it to my attention. So we put stickers on the back of ones, and I changed the packaging for the next time that says 100% cotton. But I've got to go into the store and put the stickers on the ones I put in there for, so it says 100% cotton. I actually changed it to say 100% cotton. It was 100% cotton, and then I had it changed to 100% cotton and handcrafted in Ohio. But I don't want to do that till I'm ready to do the next. I get rid of these first, and then the next batch I do will say that, because then I don't want it to be two different batches. Take a break for a second. Got this little piece there. I love that. Looks so pretty. I just don't know what to do with the outer layer. You know, it may look really good, and I don't know. It may look really good now that I'm looking at it to put the stained glass around it. And then we want to put the stained glass out here. But it may be really good to kind of put the solid colors out here. May be nice to put out here the take this and on this edge here to put the stained glass, and then here to put the to put that dark purple. That may look really good actually. Where's that dark purple? There's the stained glass one. They look really cool. To put this on the outside like that instead of trying to put a new color in. And then take this and put this all around the edge. Of course, I just got water on it, but it'll be fine. Take that, put that around there. Because you already have the blue from here. So it may look really nice to put that up with that. And then put purple and actually take wherever that green is. Take the green and alternate it because you already have the blue. I don't know. You see what I mean? It may look good to put, you know. It also may really look good to put this section as the purple, this section as the green, this section as the purple, and this section as the green. That may look really cool. Or doing it like this. Because we already have the dark green, may look really good too. To do the same thing. So kind of something like this. So if you do this here, right, which I really kind of like putting this here, and then you've got this behind it. So this is sitting like that on the sides, and then you're putting this on this side. Kind of liking that. I like that a lot with that. So if we did this, and so we put the lighter here on these two. If we revert it and we put the darker green here and revert it and do the lighter. I think that would look really pretty. Kind of have like this. And that will look, I think, really pretty. Because I don't know about, I think this would be too dark. It wouldn't look terrible, but I think it would be too dark. Possibly. So we'll have to look at it. But I'm thinking that, kind of thinking that may be the way to go. Let me do that little piece in a minute. Yeah, it looks awesome. So we were going to put the stained glass around the edges. I'm not sure about that now. They do. I don't think you could go wrong with it. I really don't. To a point. I have to say that, to a point. Another thing you could do too around the edge, and it may help. We may look at that too. Is black. I know that that would be a weird color to add, but not necessarily. We don't finish this, then we get. It's too late, and it bothers my stomach after a while. I finish it by the time. These are sticky. I don't want juice on them. It may not be a bad idea to do think about doing black, only because you've got that. It may not be a bad idea. May not work, but it may work. Something to consider. One of these days, I'm gonna go through all this and get it reorganized again. For Christina to mess it up again. That's okay. She can mess up my fabric. I don't care. You got two options, kind of. I'll take them up just so that we have them. Because it may not be a bad thing to actually, where is it? To take this. Okay, so you've got this here. This is a good example of how to do it. You're questioning, right? And then have this under here. I'm not crazy about that underneath there. I don't like that. But only because it may look really good to have that. Only because you got the black of the stained glass. And the stained glass fabric is so pretty that may make it pop a lot. Yeah, I know. I'm coming back. I'm just messing around in my head with it. So it may be the finishing part for the edges to literally have this there and then have this. It may make it pop and it may not. I don't know. We'll have to see. It may be too dark. I'm not there yet. That's why you just have to keep messing around. We will figure it out together. I know y'all. This girl can be a little unintentionally, but I'm, you know, I'm not. I don't think I'm eccentric, but I'm not boring. At least I hope I'm not. I talk a lot. I think out loud. I'm just. I just love being me. That's for sure. I told my daughter. I said, Christina, if you want to know who your mama is, just look at your grandfather. Yep. I love that stained glass. They had several different ones. That was down at Beehives. Cool. That's surprising. I can remember. I'm going to start putting labels on things, but eventually down the road. But that was at Beehive Quiltery. Beautiful place. I mean, that's just a darling little shop. But they had several different stained glass ones, but that one was the best one, I think, for Kinusaiga. But my daughter was like, "Yep, Mom, you're just like Pop, but you're a female version of him." I'm like, "Yep." I tried so hard not to be like my dad. I didn't want to be like him. Uh, And I say that out of absolute respect because it was just my dad and I did not always have the healthiest of relationships. So for me to be like my dad was hard. I have accepted it now that I'm like him. I have much more of a gate than my dad did. My dad did not have a gate. He could just tell everything to everybody. You know, I remember we were going to church one time and I was a little sensitive on the fact that I was a single mother and I was divorced. And he went around and said something about it. And I just said to him later, Dad, they all know I am. They don't need to know it. Please don't go into detail about it. So he didn't do that again. But I think the fact that I've kind of, and I don't know if I like, I'm going to change that. I know I'm not going to like it. I will put this in my scrap pile. It's too dark. I need a light. You have a light, and then I've just like ruined it. It's still tacky. It was everything else had a little bit of white. That was like totally wasn't going to work. Okay, let's try this again. That's much better. So he respected that. But it's like, I'm a little sensitive on that. Oh, I try. He respected me. I just said, Dad, please don't do that again. But he didn't have a gate. I have much more of a gate, but my dad could talk to anybody. My mother used to have to say, now, Chuck, if he was going on a plane, she'd have to remind him that everybody next to him does not like everybody jabbering for the whole length of the flight. So she'd have to remind him, Chuck, you can't talk everybody's head off. And it's funny because my husband is very quiet till he married me. And then it's oftentimes he'll talk more than I will. It's just funny to watch him. I was like, well, marry me. And we say that the first son of somebody was a female version of their mother. And my daughter is not quiet. She's talkative. She can be very dramatic. So I thought this little one is probably going to be more like my daughter, personality wise, which is fine. She just loves that little one. I can tell you that she is not shy to tell that little one that over and over again. It just warms my heart to see it, and I'll tell her too. I love her. And see, my husband and I don't hang up the phone without "I love you," because you don't know if that's going to be the last time you say that to somebody. And my daughter and I don't hang up the phone unless we're having a spat, which doesn't happen very often, but we won't. That looks much better. It was like that piece just looked off because the rest of it was dark or light, and then I had that one piece that just looked like it matches. So we will not hang up without "I love you." My husband and I can be in the same house, and if I'm just not up to getting out of bed, and I need to call him real quick, because you would think Mocha would know our sound of our voices, right? So if I talk through the door and Josh is sitting here, she'll start barking, and it's like, you think, child, you know my voice by now, right? And so she will start barking, and you think, oh, you should know my voice, and so he'll call, and I don't care where we will still say, "I love you," every time. My daughter grew up seeing that. My daughter and I do the same thing, and she now does the same thing. And I don't know where I was. So the next decision is, do we do the stained glass around the, I still don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether to do, I mean, this is what we were originally going to do, was we were going to do the stained glass around here. All the way around, we were going to do the stained glass around there, which I still like. And we were going to do the border of the stained glass around. I think if we were going to do anything, I'm kind of really liking that. Now, if we did this, we would have to do it this way. We'd have to do this on this side. So I wouldn't want to do that on that side. And it would have to be like this. And I don't know if I totally like that. The stained glass. All right. Well, then that'll go on the outside. If we did this, then this would have to go here, like this side. Not too crazy about that on that side, because we can't do the blue because we've already done the blue. Do you think it would just be better to do purple all the way around? But I kind of like this going here. I like this here, and then I kind of like this going here. Hold it. Hid the fin. Let me see something for a minute. This is experiment 101. We're gonna find it, Jill. I guarantee it. Just don't know what it's gonna be yet. No, I don't like that. That I do not like. Wait, hold it. Wait. What about, we're kind of going with this thing. What about taking this lighter one, and putting this around there like that? Because this would kind of go with kind of the spots that this is going with. And then if we do this, so I've used, the purple is not speaking to me. I don't know why. If we take this and put this like this, right? And do the kind of spotted like this is underneath here. Okay. Where's this thing? Last one. then this is going to kind of be under here like this. I think I really like this because if this goes on the outside, right? Then if you can see, some of these purples have light hues in them. And then this is kind of matching this kind of white, bluish kind of thing without being just this plain. Not that there's anything wrong with plain, but where's my plain? Where was it? Then this. You see what I mean? I think we're going to go with that. Nothing as I wanted to go as we were originally thinking. I don't like that lighter green on it either. I think that this will look good. We're going to do this one piece. And I think they'll look really good because it's got that white kind of thing from there. At least I hope I'm making the right decision. What I'm doing. I don't know. We'll do this one piece and see how it looks. And then we'll at least be, all that we have to do tomorrow is just put the rest, which will be easy peasy. Do we want to do that? Or do I want to do kind of, I think, more that? Kind of like that. Right there. I mean, we could do this, but I think this would be too dark. I think that's way too dark for. What do y'all think? Too dark? Person taking it out of here. I can either use that or the light, but I think that's too dark. I think it needs the light part. You kind of like the dark? I'm kind of, maybe I do. Okay, well then let's pull out this. It's, you have to kind of imagine it. This. Okay. And I think you're right. I think that looks really pretty. Better than either one would go, but I think the dark is going to really look pretty. So I think we go for this. You like the light ones? You know what? When you put the light, well, see, this is why you got to do it both because you got to put it here. And when you put it here, it's pretty. Can you hear me in big screen, please? Go back and forth. But. Oh boy. We have to decide whether we want to pull on this purple or this lighter purple. Either one will go. But this, but I think when you put this with it, it lightens this whole up. That's that. That. It's either going to focus on this really dark purple or this really light one. And then you put it with this. And I think the dark brings out it just, I don't know, it makes it pop in a way that the light's not. Yeah, the colors just come to life in a different way. We're going with the dark. Going to the dark side, as Jesse and them would all say. Going to the dark side. Who? Jesse and Lisa on lazy days, they do a spin wheel and they'll say, "We're going to the dark side." That is not something. I think it goes well. That's why you have to do it like that and set it up. And you can see how we started with this whole project, very different colors than what we're ending with. But they all work. Okay. And this is why this fabric's nice that I got at Country Fabrics. And they finally put all the colors of this together. It's I want to get all the colors in this because then you've got two sides. One fabric, two sides. But that's how you can choose. If you're trying to figure out what it is, just put it together like that, and then you'll be able to determine. What you want. It really looks really pretty with it. I think they had yellow. They had orange. They don't know if they had orange, but well, I said jug of water before. I don't remember saying gallon. Okay. And then it's not going to matter which one we do next. We can do this, and you can see. Then we'll know for sure we made the right decision. And guess what? There's no going back now. There's no going back now, all right? And you could undo it. I mean, I've seen people undo it. My problem with it is once you kind of say, "Oh, I don't like that," and you undo it, you kind of start a firestorm down. Start. The person that's coming back to life after her vet appointment. I got that Jeopardy song in my head. Do, do, do. Final answer. Oh, boy. You know what? In life, you got to laugh at something because sometimes life gets a little overwhelming. And if you don't laugh at something, you're gonna, you gotta be able to laugh at something. No, you're not supposed to come up there again. There we go. Life can be sticky wicky, and it's not always easy no matter what you do. You try to get through it the best way you know how, and that's all you can do. There we go. I'm just treating this with a little bit more, like I told everybody, because it may go into the store. I'm treating with a little bit more tender gloves. I know. Do not take away the ability for it to look homemade. 'Cause that's not what we want, right? Yes, sense of humor is absolutely critical, but we can just see. I take this piece here. And we'll know for sure that we did the right thing, which I know we did. Now with this, I'm gonna add a little bit like of white patches through. I didn't do it with this one because it was near the gray, but I'm gonna, and this was like darker here, so I decided to add a little bit more dark piece, but like this here and this going here, I'm gonna add a little bit of a lighter white to it. But I'm thinking we should probably do it this way because we've had these pieces coming down. So let's do it this way. I don't know if it makes a difference. Uh, Looks like it may, but maybe not. Okay. We have to give ourselves a little bit of the corner to go in. I will be definitely getting more of this fabric when I go down to that shop. For sure. Oh, I gave Christina some of this. I'm like, I know I had more of this because I gave my daughter some of it. She took some. I had to give her like a half of the thing. I'm like, wait, I know I had more of that than that because Christina got some of it. That's fine. She can take some. She took it for something. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know which one of them has windows. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't for windows. I can't remember which one she took it for. I honestly, at this point, she had 7 patterns. I don't remember which one she took it for at all. I just know it was one of them. I'm her fabric dealer. She's too much. She's like, Mom, I can't go through a day without. She said that's how I relax and wind down as I do Kinusaiga. I'm like, I am so glad. she gave her friend the first piece she did, and she loved it. I think her friend possibly wants to learn how to do it. I said to my daughter, I said, you better warn her, it's addicting. She goes, I know. Yep. I'll have to look. She must have done a video on it. I'll have to look at it. I know she was going to do a video of some kind. I watched movies. I just signed up. I'm going to cancel it, but I wanted to see that movie on that hurricane. It's Scars on the Mountain. It was really interesting. I wanted to watch that. So I watched that. And, um, I watched a very interesting piece, which really kind of resonated with me. And well, that piece about the Hurricane Helene, that was on the Angel Network, and you had to sign up for it. I don't want to keep Angel Network, but anyway, there's another piece called "Call Me Daughter" or something like that. And it was really a neat piece, and I really resonated with that one a lot too. So anyway, I watched that, and I just took the day and I just relaxed. I was just like, my mom and I were just like, we're still tired. And I was going to take a nap, but I never had the chance. I never took the time to do it, which is fine because then I'll be ready for bed. I don't want to have to redo it again, but it's kind of not falling in like I want it to. All right, we're going to kind of take this for a minute. It kind of got a little. It got a little bit more frayed than I wanted, but I think I just fixed it. And I'll fix it tomorrow too if I need be. I just would hate to waste the entire piece. It'll sit up in a minute. I think it'll be okay, especially when I put the next piece on. I think it'll be all right. We're going to get that next piece on. I know, one more piece, right? One more piece. The story of my life. One more piece. I'm interested to see if we do take this piece down to I guess I'm telling me to quit, huh? Piece down. I'm curious how well this would do down there. Because I just dropped them all on the floor. There you go, this. Plus, I want to hit that other piece because I had to put so much glue on that one piece. So I want to make sure it's going to work. Sometimes I want you all to see what I'm doing, but sometimes I have to lift things up in a certain way to get it to get into the position that I need it to be for the back, for the side. That was one of them times where I needed it to be. Leave it, Mocha. Leave it. I dropped some of my stuff on the floor. Good girl. What does she have? No, I just dropped some of my things on the floor and I didn't want her taking my stuff and running with it. So I'm just giving her a heads up as she was coming over to leave what was on the floor. And she did. Because she's the one that will find a pearl earring or a button and go for it. I'm trying to tell her to not do that. We need to make sure that that goes in there. I think we absolutely made the right decision to put the, that's what I wanted to see. I think we absolutely made the right decision to put the stained glass there. So let's do this little piece because I had to put some glue there. And before it hardens, I want to make sure that piece goes in there. And then we're going to stop for a minute. But I absolutely love the stained glass there. It goes perfectly. Absolutely. So we're going to pick, because this is now a white piece, we're going to pick one with a little bit more white. I don't think I'll do total white like that. I think it's just too much. I don't want it to be that. I kind of want it to be a little bit. I just gotta flip it around. See if I kind of like something over here a little bit better. Kind of like right there. Kind of to match a little bit of that white going up there. I know there's probably a better way to say it. Take the piece off and cut it, but it just drives me nuts to do that. I don't like it. That's my way of doing it. Probably could save more, but I just it's not my way of doing it. So you do your way and let everybody else do. That's why I save. That's why I have a container full of pieces that I can save for later. Because if by chance I cut it too big, then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to stuff it in my container. Or maybe I'll need that little piece sometime down the road. I didn't get it long enough. I want that dark piece running right through there. It's a little piece like right there. I want to make sure it comes through the whole thing. And then like this big chunk of piece. I gotta see if should get those purple eyes eventually. Which I gotta finish the fish on Facebook. Like I may never use that piece, but who knows? The little eye, I decide I want a purple eye, right? I figure it doesn't hurt to just store it away in that container. It'll take me a while to fill up that container with little tiny pieces. I kind of want to fool around with that just a moment. But well, I've got it. See, tomorrow we'll finish the rest. Hopefully, I can figure out. I gotta go to Home Depot and get yarn, but maybe you can figure out something when it comes to a frame. It'll look better than the paint stick, especially if this is going in that place where commissioned. And I would hopefully be able to stick this up just a little bit, which I can. So see that with that will help to mitigate that little piece that I was not happy with, and it kind of had an issue. So we're going to kind of take that and put them together and get it to stay where I want it, and then we've fixed the problem. And I'm just going to take that. I always fix it tomorrow, but I really wanted that to kind of see now this tying it together. You can't tell I kind of snipped that a little bit too close. So this is kind of, you get these up, and I get this up a little bit. My one is on the ground on the floor because I dropped all of them. So the one I use a lot is down there. And if I will leave it to be, then it will absolutely be. I don't think you can see it. A little issue. Looks much better now. I'm just so critical, but it looks better now. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And then I'm loving this darker. It needed the darker. I'm glad I got that because that matches this part of it. It's going to be so pretty. So we have there, and like I said, we've gifted 5 memberships tonight. We will do 5 memberships at the end of the month, and we're probably about 600 hours away from that, but it's gonna be so pretty. That's really pretty. That's gonna be pretty. I'm liking it. And I'll see. I've got to take it tomorrow and see about a frame. So it won't take us that much longer now that we kind of know what we're doing. Part of the decision was I just didn't know how to proceed. So now that we know where we're going, then we should be able to finish this with no time tomorrow. It'll probably be 7 o'clock because we'll come home and crash. And I don't have to double any fabric up, which takes a little bit longer. So we'll finish it tomorrow. I'll go take a frame. Oh, thank you, Riches, very much. Flow Farm got one, Rio got one, Rayan got one, Songbird got one, Grace Travels, Defending Elvis, Elizabeth Crochet, DR Small Business, Lord, Brittany Family Fun got one. Thank you very much for those. And the people that get them will be very, very appreciated of them. Can I talk tonight? No, it's not happening. And I just love seeing memberships come up again. Oh, I love seeing it. And it's just because we worked really hard to get there, you know? First of all, it has nothing, that goes to mama. That's what makes my day. That's the first thing. And second of all, um, I really want to say this with every bit of me and all the appreciation. We did this as a community. This was not just my effort. This was done with a community of people that came together that made this happen. Did not allow me to give up because there was a lot of times I felt like forget it, I'm not going to never going to get there, especially when you're going on and you see your hours go this way and then they go this way and it makes it difficult. Um, but this was 100% a community effort. And that is why when you're going to build a YouTube channel, and there's people that build it just for numbers and views and all that, and that's wonderful. Build it on community. Because if you build it on community, when things happen, your community comes together to help you. So this was not done just because it was, it really had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with you all. And you all didn't allow me to give up. And it would have been really easy to give up, and I didn't give up. And there was times, believe me. And it wasn't just the watch hours. There was a lot of other stuff going on that I thought, I just don't know if I can do it. And I'm so glad I found this because this Kinusaiga has just been such a blessing in my life. I can't tell you all what it's done. Hopefully, just watching me do it, having inspiring other people to maybe take it and do it and run with it. Um, maybe and maybe it's not even interested to do it. Maybe it's just coming and realizing that you can come in and just chit chat and talk. And if it makes people feel really special, then wonderful. And I, I was, there's a gentleman, I think he's on Facebook and I think he's probably on, what is it? He's on Facebook. He may be on some other things too. And his grandmother has dementia. And I've messaged him. I'll see if I can email him too, because he talked about doing stories about people that have had family members that have dementia. And I said, is it a hard subject for me to talk about? Sometimes, yeah, because I think of my dad and I think of all the stuff he went through, and caretaking for my daughter, but it's so worth it because he was talking about exactly that same thing. He was talking about, you know, there's been times we've wanted to quit and give up and didn't know if we could do this and so forth. And he said, but it was a lot of people that came together to say, you know, when I thought about giving up or and stopping doing this, because he said we've gotten a lot of wonderful comments, but we've also gotten some really unpleasant comments that people say, we're using Granny. We did merch. We didn't put her face on the thing, but you're making money off of it. But caretaking is expensive. But he said we got more messages than we did negative stuff about people that says, I'm going through this right now, and you're bringing light to whatever I'm going through. I don't feel like I'm going through this alone. And that's why, for me, if people can understand, if you come into our chat and just chit chat and talk, it's not about what I'm doing here. This is pretty. This is beautiful. This is yeah, I love them. I love all the projects I do, but it's not about this. It's about you guys coming in here and making friendships. You guys coming in here and showing support for each other when somebody's coming in and said, I've had a really rough day, or Flow Farm, I've had a really rough day and my fibromyalgia is hidden, having a difficult day and I'm having a flare up. For me, when I'm having a difficult day and I'm hurting and I can come in and do this and I forget about my pain for 2 hours. Do I hurt when I get up from here? Absolutely. But for 2 hours, I'm not all the time, but there's a lot of times when I'm doing this that when I'm talking to you all and I'm doing this, I'm really forgetting I hurt. And to me, you have no idea what gift you're giving to me because I'm sitting there going, I'm not thinking of how much I'm hurting. Am I hurting? Yeah. But I get a break from it. And when you have somebody in your life that has chronic pain, I'm telling you right now, if they can breathe, if they can have a break for a little bit, it really helps their mental well being because it drains on you mentally like you can't believe. When people hurt, they take a Tylenol and it stops and they can get up and move around. When it's this constant pain, it is very taxing. It is very mentally exhausting. And if you can come in and laugh and have a break and just breathe, you guys give me a gift, you give mom a blessing, and the revenue that comes in from this, you guys mean the world to me. And I don't say that lightly, it's the truth. And I am very, very grateful for just people that are here. And I know that there's not a lot of people in the chat. We'll get there, we'll get back to that. Um, but you guys make a real difference in my life. You give me a break from pain for a while. And like today would not have been a day I would have been able to head out. And you know, I was a friend of mine asked me to go someplace this weekend, and I just said, you know, I'm just really not up to it, and I've had to move plans. And they're going through something, so we're wouldn't have happened anyway. But um, I said, you know what, I've had a really the last weekend was really busy, and I really just am not up to it. I can't do it this weekend. So y'all, thank you so much. Yeah, knowing that you're not alone helps more than you know. And I think that that's what people need to understand and making those connections. And his arm just went off that he's crashing, I think. Making those connections, giving a safe place for people to come and just chit chat and talk and feel like they're not alone is I think it's more valuable than we put it. I think, you know, it's you know, there's people that are surrounding my daughter that are friends that we've, you know, she said to me it's more valuable than gold. And having the connection we have here is more valuable, and the friendships I've built, and um, who knows? I hope to meet a lot of people. I may not get to meet everybody, but there's people I hope that I've met on here that I get to meet in person because I'd love to be able to give them a big hug and say thank you. But you really do help this girl here deal with um, the daily struggles of chronic pain. And I really wanted to come on yesterday, but I just knew I didn't have it in me, and it wasn't. I don't go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. 9:30. I don't go to bed that late, that early, and I was in bed by 9:30. I was in bed and I was out by 10 o'clock. So I must have needed it if I slept from 10 to 8, and I still felt like I could go back to bed and sleep. So we will finish this beautiful piece tomorrow. I will hopefully find a piece at or a frame at can't think what it is now. At Hi Rebecca, welcome on in. How you doing? It's an exciting night. We're working on this piece. We're gonna finish this tomorrow, but we also have gotten back to partial monetization after April of this year being apparently voluntarily left the partner program, which we never did. But that's what we were told happened. But we found out tonight right on the live that we at least got back to memberships and all that kind of stuff. So we're about 600 hours away from getting fully back to that. So there's hope and light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm about ready for that. I can tell you right now, I'm so ready to. It's like there's light, and I'm very thankful. But we've got this project. I'm actually on consignment at a local store in the area, and I'm hoping to take this piece down to the local store. Y'all could put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel, of course. So, absolutely. And I want to get this piece up because I want to get it for you all too in the merch store. So, you guys have this piece to do now. This is a 7x7, just so the people know. This is a 7x7 picture, but you could do this in a much bigger scale. You could do it in an 8x8. You could do it in a 10x10. You could do it in a much bigger size, a 7x7. And I'm looking forward to doing the horse and buggy too. That'll be fun. I've got the pumpkin. I've got the horse and buggy. I've got to finish the darn goose. And I'm going to be looking for an alternative to outlining if we do want to outline than using the embroidery thread. It's not it's not the best thing for it. I used it what I had on him, but it's not. I need to see if I can find crochet thread that's like smaller, like not as thick. I can't wait to see it. Just check it out. You know what? This is the simple thing. This is a really easy pattern to do, but it's been good for me to do because I've worked on practicing, tucking and doing all that. So if you do a piece and it doesn't come out the greatest, do it again. I'm sorry. I'm fine. And then of course in the middle we're gonna take this. I'm so tired. I don't have your phone number. If you want to email me, there you go. Go to our link tree and you can email me if you want that. And I can certainly that, or you can just email us here and, you know, I can, um, I can give you a ring if you want. Yeah. Go ahead and email me if you would like to, Rebecca. I don't mind reaching out to you. You can also do the link tree. That's our email address is there too. But yeah, I have no problem doing that. No problem. But we're gonna put this in the middle of it. I think it's gonna look so cute. I think it's gonna be really cute to have that right in the middle. Just have to find the right angle for it. I think like that. It looks so cute. We're gonna take that and put that right in the middle of it. And it's gonna look darling. And I'll probably add a little bit more sparkle to it. You know me, I gotta have my glitter. That's gonna look really cute. So we're just gonna kinda when we do it, we'll find the way to. Yep. Unless I find something else, but I don't think I will. I think it'll be fine. Unless I go to Home Depot. Unless I go to Hobby Lobby and see something tomorrow that I like better. But I think I do like that. Unless I go to Hobby Lobby and find like a star or something. But I really think that that's really cute in the middle of that. So we'll see. At least I know. ID. DS. Let me see. Is it Silver Stream? DeSarla live stream. Hopefully I said that right. I have dyslexia and I try to say names as best I can, but they don't always come out well, especially if I'm tired. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you all people want, if you put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. This is called Kinusaiga. If anybody hasn't, I did. Maybe. um, this is called Kinusaiga, and I better pick up that piece from. I'll find it. Kinusaiga is the art of tucking fabric into insulated board. Polystyrene is actually what it's called. I'm trying to get these in before I lose them because I'm going to wind up losing them, and then our dog will find them. That's not what we want. We've done a couple projects. All right. This is our latest one. We have to wait till Josh gets his saw because I'm giving this one to my mother for her belated birthday present. We have to finish outlining the goose, and we're doing a whole series on the goose. The goose is going to be a winter and summer goose. Winter, we've got this one, which is summer. Then we got fall, winter, and spring. Blame that on mama. Then we have the kitty cat we're going to be doing too. But we are commissioned down in a local store in the, what is it? The Amish area where we sell our soap caddies. So I'm taking this one and I can take things down there. It's a fabric store too. So I'm trying to get this piece done for down there. On YouTube, we're working on the fish. Or not YouTube, Facebook. Facebook, we're working on the fish. If I don't put this out here, I'll forget to take that with me tomorrow. And then I've got eyes coming for the fish. My daughter has started to do this artwork. This is the second piece that she did. Let me put it in the frame. This is the second piece she did. So if you're familiar with Once Upon a Time, this is on that. That's on that. And then she did this one recently, which was a pickle. And I want to do a pickle too. She's getting really good at it. And it's fun to watch her. Her and I are really connecting on this. But I'm going to have to come through and just kind of clean it up. Some of our shirts I've had to come back and I've had to clean them up. If I can find it, she wants me to find like a little bow tie for the pickle. I think would look really cute. But last time on her other piece, I just had to go through. I remember the first time she goes, "You didn't take out my fabric out." I said, "No, I wouldn't do that." But I did have to come through and I had to clean some of it up, which was fine. That's what mamas are here for, right? And I have to frame it, but I had to go through some of her tucking ability and just I'm not outlining this piece show. I'm just not. But when you get done with your pieces, this is a prime example. Take your seam ripper sometimes and just go back over some of your thing and just, go back and just, some of the pieces that may need to be like retucked again. It'll neaten things up. And I did that with our first piece. I just went over it and kind of retucked places and glued some places I felt needed to be glued. But she did a great job. She's getting better and better. Her woof is so awesome. She's really doing a great job. But you can take that and just see I've cleaned it up and it looks even better. She's doing a spectacular job. I'm very proud of her. And she's using it as good therapy as she has become a new mama. She's using it as a way of just kind of decompressing, which I'm glad to see. But take your seam ripper, and sometimes you'll need to go back over things again. Yep. Well, I'm glad that you were here tonight, that you could see what we accomplished and help me decide on which way to go with the piece because I needed help. For sure. I wasn't quite sure on that one. But anyway, she's done a great job. So we'll see y'all tomorrow sometime. We'll finish this piece. Hopefully I can find a frame. Maybe I'll find a little bow tie for the pickle. I think will look cute. But I love you all. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my mama's nice heart. Thank you for being the awesome community that you are. You are rock stars. And I love each and every one of you. So, as we always say here at Blessed to Crochet, be proud of being you because everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection or seam ripper. No crochet hook or seam ripper needed. And we have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And remember, you all are truly the blessing behind Blessed to Crochet. And we love each and every one of you all. We'll see you later. Have a great night. Bye bye, everybody.